Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you've had a wonderful weekend. We had wonderful weather here, so hopefully you were able to participate in that. We'll go ahead and get started. So here we go. So it says, teenagers, tired of being harassed by your stupid parents? Act now. Move out. Get a job. Pay your own bills, but you still know everything. So the reason I bring that up is we did have some comments about my rant last Monday. And so I've got a couple of choices on how I can work with you. I can basically take a chill pill and, pat you on the back and rub you and burp you, or I can give you tough love. So I don't, some guys have told me, hey, I've got a thick skin. I came to you to do that, Mike. I came to you to push me to be better. I'm assuming you all came to make money, but we have had some guys whine and complain that, Mike, Mike just seems to be always on a rampage, or, he yelled at me, or blah, 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 blah. So that's, one of the reasons Jeff and I are so different and it works out so well as a partnership is a lot of guys will go to Jeff or move that direction because they can't take that kind of coaching. But I just want to make a point here about coaching. So if I can find it here. So that we're getting near football season. So can I ask you guys a question? Bill Belichick is known for being a sweetheart, right? He rubs people on the back and pats them on the butt and says, you guys are doing a great job. Is that how he coaches? Yeah, he won, Mark, exactly. Is that how he coaches, and birds people on the back? How about this guy? He's known for being a sweetheart, and says designs his training camps after the ones that Bill Cowher would run. Probably not a great time for his players. Jim Harbaugh. This is Jim Harbaugh when he's up 24 points. So, I did have a conversation with the guy, and he couldn't understand why I was so upset. He had two clients he was moving forward. He's moving forward about $450,000. He was moving forward about $450,000, and he couldn't understand how I got upset. Why would you get upset over somebody moving $450,000? Because guess what he did? He moved it forward by the skin of his teeth. He skipped the 21-point checklist with one. He he took a shortcut on the other. And geez, that means did he get it because he was skilled? No, he got it by luck. Do you want your success to be by luck? Because if it's by luck, guess what? You don't know. If your income is by luck, what don't you know? See, when I was making $1 million a year, I had no stress. Why? Because I was seeing. I was closing 10 people a month, 10 people, or not even 10, like 8 people a month, 7 people a month, over and over and over. I wasn't worried about losing somebody, and I just knew it was gonna. I knew it was gonna work. I knew it was gonna work. So all these guys, any of these guys known for being sweethearts, and I bring that. So, guys, you have come on to 5Q to make more money. And how I help you make more money is to make sure you're following a system that has made over a dozen guys $1 million a year, over 200 guys quintupling, 500%, 200 guys, 500% increase in their income. So do you understand if you haven't seen your income double or triple or quadruple, guess what you're going to get from me? And I'd like everybody to answer this. What are you going to get from me? If your income has not doubled, tripled, or since you've come on, what are you going to get from me? A kiss on the lips or a kick in the butt? And if you don't like that, guess what? You can go to Jeff, because Jeff is a much more nurturing type of coach. And that's, again, like I said, guys will go one way or the other. So I just want to make a point here. So here's the thing. Structure versus love. So if I didn't return your calls, I didn't coach you, I didn't want to talk to you on the phone, I'd call that what? Disengaged. So guys, just so you know, of all the people on the call, so we have 100 people on the call, guess what? I got 3 people who said they wanted a kick in the butt. That's it. So it tells me what everybody else wants. They want to be rubbed on the back and burped. Well, then Jeff's going to be a really busy guy over the next month. So, because here's the way I look at it. Here's love and structure. If I have neither, there's no structure and there's no love, that's disengaged. I don't take any of your phone calls. I don't. When you're talking, I'm like on my phone or I'm checking my email. That's disengaged. Then there's authoritarian, which means it's all about structure, not about love. That's like a boot camp. Then there's laissez-faire. Say, I'm gonna be your cheerleader and rub you on the back and tell you everything's gonna be good. And you're so good, man. I can't believe how good you treated that client. No, guess where I am? Right here. So when I'm coaching you, it's based on, dude, you could be so much better than you are, and there's only one reason. I don't want everybody to answer this. There's only one reason that you're not as good as you should be, and what's that? What's the one thing preventing you from not being as good as you should be? Yeah, you. And so other people are saying 21. Yeah, you're not working hard enough to learn the 21. You're not using the 20, whatever. It's you guys. It's you.
Let me see that.
Participation trophy. But we won every game. Why did we get the same trophy as all those teams we beat? Are we going to start ending games with hugs instead of handshakes? No. No.
Here you go, champ.
Guys, you have the ability to make $1 million a year. There's not a guy on this system that couldn't make $1 million a year if they wanted to. So that means there's not a guy in the system that shouldn't, even without blinking an eye, be doubling or tripling their income. And I just scratch my head that you've been given the goose that lays the golden egg, and you're not taking advantage of it. And we're going to have somebody talk here in just a minute or so about that goose. But before that, I mean, Jeff, I promised Jeff that I wouldn't go off on a tantrum 2 weeks in a row. So Jeff said that he'd step in here and kind of make my point for me.
Well, the real point is, I think, like Mike said, the nice thing about this is the 21 puts you in control of your practice. And so, like Mike said, the only thing that's standing between you and the success you want to have is you and how good you get. The thing is, we can't, so I'm going to make an assumption, and it might not be accurate, but I think it's mostly accurate, and that is that everybody that came onto the system came on because they wanted to make more money. They wanted to make more money, plain and simple. But we can't help you make money if you don't get in front of people to talk to. And we can't help you make money if when you get in front of those people to talk to them, you don't talk to them the way that you're supposed to talk to them. It's our job to make sure that you make more money, and the only way we can do that is to hold you accountable to seeing people, number one, and hold you accountable to meeting with them the right way, using the 21, number two. So if you're not seeing people, then we're not doing our job. If you're not meeting with the people that you see using this system, then we're not doing our job. And so you're going to hear us talk all the time about who are you seeing, who's on your calendar, who are you meeting with that we can help you, that we can listen to the tape and work with you on. Because if you're not seeing anybody, I don't have any way to make you any money.
Well, can I jump in there, Jeff?
Sure.
Here's what's confusing to me. We've had a lot of guys not wanting to do the outside the box because that required a lot of skill. Like I said, a third of the guys kicked butt with it, 2/3 didn't. So we created a system and they said, Mike, I'd be a lot better at the 21 if I get in front of people. I'd be a lot better at the 21 if I get in front of people. I'd be a lot better with the 21 if I get in front of people. It's not that I don't believe in the 21. If I can get in front of more people, I would do better with the 21. So we roll out the eye to eye. And we've only got about 25 to 30% of the guys using it. So I'm about to go on a tantrum again. So I can't use the 21 because I can't get in front of people. So we roll out the eye to eye, which guarantees you get in front of people. And guess what people are not doing? We're back to a third of the guys are brave enough to get in front of people. 2/3 of the people are not brave enough to get in front of people. I'm confused, Jeff.
Yeah, and it's confusing because we hear the same things over and over, which is the problem I have is getting in front of people. So we roll out a tool called the 21 Lite. and it doesn't cost anything. But we can't get a lot of people. We get some, like Mike said, there's 25 to 30% of the people at any one time that buy in, but 2/3 of the people don't do that. And then we roll out a program where you're guaranteed to get in front of people.
Okay, I'm going to jump in there. Oh, Mike, I can't do the 21 light because, I've seen all my clients. I got all their money, blah, 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 blah. If you could get me in front of new people, then I'd do it. So at first, hey, I can't do the 21. We can't get good at 21 because I can't get in front of people. We roll out the 21 light. Oh, no, can't do the 21 light because I've seen all my people. I got all their money. And when guys actually went back to their clients, we had guys making $50,000 in a month going back to clients who they swore they had all their clients' money. But all the rest said, no, can't do that again. Don't have anybody to talk to. But if you can get me in front of new people, then I'm in.
And that's what the eye-to-eye is. It's a guaranteed way, because that's what you wanted, a guaranteed way to get you in front of people. Here's the thing, eye-to-eye costs money. I'll be the first to tell you that, yeah, eye-to-eye isn't free. It's $3,950, I believe. Let's just call it $4,000. It's $4,000 to do eye-to-eye. But here's the thing. If you don't make $4,000 in a month, then maybe this isn't the right business for you. I mean, the reality is there's a lot of jobs out there that you can make $4,000 a month that don't require a lot of experience and don't require any overhead. You don't have to pay for an office. You don't have to pay for your own phones. You don't have to pay for an assistant. That don't require you to provide your own health care. They'll do it for you. So sometimes I think it's time for some soul searching to decide, is this what I'm going to do to make money? And if that's what I'm going to do to make money, then I'm going to have to get in front of people. And if I'm not willing to do it, then that says something. If you're not able to do it, that says something too. I mean, the bar isn't exceedingly high. It's not like you have to make $20,000 to be able to do this. You have to be able to make $4,000. And if you can't make $4,000,
that's $48,000 a year. If you're not making $48,000 a year, which would allow you to do an eye-to-eye, if you're not making $48,000 a year, your profits are not $48,000 a year, which means that then I would understand you not being able to do an eye-to-eye. But I want everybody to answer this. Guys, if you're not making $48,000 in profit in this business, what do you need to do? Yeah, Bob says, put on your big boy pants.
Yeah, and the reality is, and I think we've always been upfront about this, we have a track record of taking people from moderate success to a lot of success. We don't have any track record of taking people from zero to whatever. So my point is, if you don't make $48,000 a year, if you came on and you said, well, I don't have two nickels to rub together. I've only got, I'm not making that. I'm not making anything close to that. I'm not even making half that. I'm hoping you guys can get me to that place. Probably not. We just don't. I know I've always said, and I've always heard Mike say, we have no record of taking somebody from 0 to 100. I think we've always been very honest. If you don't have a 10% closing ratio without us, we can't help you.
But I'll tell you straight out, here's the thing. We've taken people, and you're right, Jeff, we've taken people from 0 to highly successful from outside the industry because they had success outside the industry when they came in here. They had no fear of doing marketing and getting in front of people and using the 21 because they knew it would work. And they put in all that work and effort to learn the 21, and they made tons of money. But you're right, Jeff. People who are inside the industry that don't have two nickels to rub together, guess what that tells you? They haven't been successful up to this point at all. Guess what? We're not the fix. Because the fix, there ain't nobody the fix. If you haven't been successful up to this point, and what I mean by successful is making over $48,000 a year, guess what, dudes? Something's broken, and what's broken? The system, the market, the products, what's broken? I think y'all know the answer to that. So guys, get your butts in gear and either get in front of 10 people the next month or do the eye-to-eye. And so I just wanted to talk to one of the guys who's been doing the eye to eye and Scott, are you there?
Yeah, you hear me?
Scott, what would you say to anybody who's not doing the eye to eye?
Well, if you're not doing other marketing, it's kind of crazy not to be doing it, I think.
Well, what kind of success do you have? You did a mailing. What'd you get in front of?
Thus far, I've met with 11 people with $6,057,000 in investable assets.
11 people with $6 million of investable assets. And that's the nice thing about that is if you only got in front of one person, that person had $6 million, I wouldn't be very happy. Why wouldn't I be happy with that, Scott?
Because we're not really out looking for that big tuna. We're looking for average Joe, basically.
And that's risky, isn't it? One
Yes.
guy with $6 million, it's either get or no get. But when you got 11 people with $6 million, why is that a good thing?
Well, it increases our odds, and we can help that group considerably.
Yeah, because when we're competing in that group of people with 200,000, 500,000, 800,000, when we're competing in that group, is there, Jeff Freeberg, have we ever found an advisor who's doing any of the stuff that we do with the 21?
No.
We kill them. We kill them if you're doing the 21. So, guys, 11 people, $6 million of assets. How much would you have to close, Scott, to be happy? 100% of that? That'd be making me ecstatic, but how much would you have to close to be happy?
I'd be happy closing a third, but I've still got new appointments coming, too.
There you go. So, guys, with this kind of success, do you get why I can't do the 21 because I can't get in front of people? We come with the 21 light. Can't do 21 light because I have no clients. I need to get in front of new people. Get you in front of new people. I can't do that because I have no money. Guys, as Bob said here on the notes or on the comments, pull up your big boy pants and figure it out. If you knew, $6 million, how much of that $6 million do you think I would close, guys? I'm looking at a frickin' $300,000 month, dude. I'm looking at a $300,000 month. I don't expect you to be as good as me, but my God, if you can't close 10% of that, you need to find another job. So you need to figure out a way. If you don't have the money to get in front, do an eye to eye, find a way to get the money. Unless you don't think you can close using the 21, then you better spend the whole month learning the 21, as some of the guys we've had on in the last few weeks have shown that spending a month diving in and doing the 21, they've got it backwards and forwards. They are ready. They'll close huge amounts with the eye to eye. Okay? So the eye to eye is working unbelievably well. I just had Scott in it, but it's working like backwards and forwards for everybody. I mean, the lowest we've seen somebody get in front of so far is $3 million in one freaking mailing, guys. Get your butts in gear and figure out a way either to make for if you can. I guess I'm done talking about it. You guys can figure it out. Either pull up your big boy pants and get an eye to eye going, or figure out how you're going to in the next month make enough money to do an eye to eye. Or if you're sitting in front of a bunch of accountants, hallelujah. If you're sitting in front of a built-in client base because you're a property cash agent, you got 700 people, hallelujah. But then get your butt in gear and start seeing those people. Make sense? Okay, enough said on that. So get going. I want to talk a little bit about LinkedIn, because we still have guys loving LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is going to be solving all the problems. Guess what all of the entities say about LinkedIn for small businesses and financial people and CPAs and attorneys? What do they say? LinkedIn is a good thing or a bad thing? It sucks. Why do people use LinkedIn? What do people use LinkedIn for? I agree, Brad. It's a waste of time. LinkedIn is, there you go, Keith, to find jobs. That's why people use LinkedIn, to find jobs, not to find clients, to find jobs. See, social media works, just not for small business people. And that's the Wall Street Journal had a huge article about it, saying LinkedIn is and social media is a failed entity for small businesses. It works for other things, but not for small businesses. But who's out there touting how great LinkedIn is? Every time you read an article about how great LinkedIn is and you see who the author is, who's the author? A financial advisor or some entity selling their expertise in LinkedIn. That's why. See, it's a huge time suck with low value. The people telling you it works, of course, make their living selling you their social media services. And nobody's going to like your financial planning or accounting or legal firm. Nobody's going to like it. Who's going to like it on Facebook or whatever else? They're not going to. LinkedIn, I mean, what are people looking for on LinkedIn? And the reason I'm doing this is, see, I got guys who instead of spending the $4,000 to get in front of $3 to $6 million of people with assets looking for a portfolio review, I got guys still wanting to do the what thing. Why do people love LinkedIn? It's cheap and it's selling hope. Hey, I got 7,000 people on my LinkedIn. So I'd rather have guys, let me ask you a question. Would you rather have 7,000 people on LinkedIn or be like Scott and have 11 people with $6 million looking for help? Don't be a dumbass. What are they looking for on LinkedIn? A job. Well, isn't this networking? Well, it depends how you use it. Now, I'm going to show you a guy who figured out how to use it. Here's how he used LinkedIn. He tied LinkedIn together with his network marketing. He was helped with charities. He was on charitable boards. He volunteered a lot. He was on Kiwanis. He was in the community a lot, and he networked a lot. And here's what he did. He linked that networking to LinkedIn. So every time he'd meet a new person, he'd ask them these 3 questions. Tell me about what you do, how long have you been doing that, and where do you work? So why do you think he was asking these questions? Tell me about what you do, how long have you been doing that, and where do you work? Why do you think he was looking for those questions? Yeah, he's going to search them, Mark, on LinkedIn. Then he went to LinkedIn to find out more about that person. And then he went through his database to see, do I know any people, or do they know any people in common with me, or do I know somebody at their company? Do I know somebody who's in common in their LinkedIn group, or do I know somebody at their company? And then they use that person as a common connection. And then they started to network and using LinkedIn to communicate with that person. Why don't people use LinkedIn this way? Wait, what? You mean that this actually is hard? It takes effort, Mark. That's right. That's why it takes effort. Instead of having, hey, sending a little thing, hey, you want to link in with me? Hey, you want to be my LinkedIn partner? Hey, you want to have a... Dudes, this requires work, but it's using LinkedIn as it's supposed to be, as a tool, not as a magic wand. Tools require what, guys? What's the difference between a tool and a magic wand? Yeah, it requires work. Tool is something that you use to create work. It makes work more efficient, but it still requires work. So then you want to send an engaging linking request. Hey, you can say, hey, we met at the XYZ thingamajig thing. So we met at the dance-a-thon for diabetes, whatever. So we met there. You know what? I was talking to Bob, mentioned that I met you there. So you're going to find that person you have in common. And in your message, you're going to say, hey, I talked to Bob and we found out we both knew you. Why do you do that? People want to know that you have something else in common. And a person is the largest thing you have in common, or the most important or the most effective thing that you can have in common. And you say, I'd love to hear more about what you do. Hey, do you want to hear about more what I do and how I can help you? No. I want to hear more about what you do. You got time for lunch or breakfast? Okay, so this requires effort. But if it's a client that you want, this is a great way to do it. And then at your lunch, make sure that your message, first of all, you're going to ask them what they do, and make sure you're on message for them and what their hot buttons would be. Know your audience. Make your message simple and clear, like we talked about here a couple of weeks ago. The quicker picker up. What is your elevator speech? Or better yet, give them an example of how you've helped people. And we talked about that being in the Halo system, where you said, if you said, tell me a little bit about what you do. Well, I'll give you an example. Earlier this week I worked with, and you go blah, blah, blah. You give them a real life example of how you helped somebody just like them. and then you drip on them with epidemic marketing. If you're not using epidemic marketing, you're missing a huge tool that we offer. I cannot tell you how many guys that use epidemic marketing regularly tell me, Mike, this is awesome. Like, you know, it's not going to get you a new client every month. It'll get you 3 or 4 a year. But guess what? It's about 1,000% return on investment when you get those 3 or 4 clients. Because it's cheap, it's easy, and you will get a ton of clients. Not a ton. You get 3 or 4 clients from it, but they come from out in left field. You don't even expect them. It's extra clients. It's not the people you're looking for. It's extra clients. It's the frosting on the cake. Okay? Now, I'll just give you some things that you should never say in a LinkedIn invitation. Hey, I'd love to show you what I do. Never, ever, ever say that. Instead, you say, I'd love to know more about what you do. Never say, hey, are you open to a quick phone call, let you know how I can help you? Never, 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 never. Hey, say, I'd love to connect so I can follow your work on XYZ project. So far, what's the theme here, guys? Don't talk about what, and I always talk about what. Yeah, don't talk about you, I always talk about them, exactly. Hey, we're both members of XYZ LinkedIn group. No. Instead say, hey, I loved your comment on the blah, blah, blah. I'd love to connect with you. I love your ideas. I don't know. I know we don't know each other. Oh, that's a terrible way to start. Instead say, hey, explain why you think you'd be able to help each other. Compliments go a long way. I saw your profile and want to connect. Never say that. Instead say, find something, maybe even something personal that intrigued you. Their school, their hobbies, etc., and let them know that you have that thing in common. Don't say I'd love to explore. And again, what's the best thing to have in common, guys? We just talked about it. Let's see if you guys were listening. What's the best thing to have in common? Come on, guys. People, Bill, you got it. That person, the person that we both know. You're all getting it. Awesome. That person, that's the best thing to say you have in common. I'd love to explore how we can help each other. No. Instead, say, tell them, again, what in their profile intrigued you and what about them in particular intrigued you. I'd love to add you to my professional network. How many times have you seen this in a LinkedIn invitation, guys? Did it make you want to click, yeah, I love you? And again, it does make some guys click. The guy that has 7,000 connections, he'd click it right away, wouldn't he? Guess how many times I clicked invitations to LinkedIn? What do you think about me? How many times do you think I click a LinkedIn invitation? All the time or rarely? If they don't have, I do click them occasionally, but they better explain to me why it's something that I want to do or be connected with. I'm not interested in being connected to a bunch of people. I'm interested in being connected to people who we might be able to help each other, but not people who are just collecting people. That's silly. Yeah. Say anything except this, okay? So there is a way to use LinkedIn, but unfortunately for us, it requires what? Work. If you're not willing to do that work, guess how much attention you should spend with LinkedIn? 0. I want to make sure you understand some of these tools that we have now. So when people do eye-to-eyes, we give them free gifts. And one of those free gifts, again, really any of these things you could use not just with the eye-to-eye, but in other places in your practice. And you see I've chopped this off, so for people who are not on the system can't see how you download these. But the one I want to talk about today is pass on what's really important. Pass on what's really important. So if I can get over here, and get over here. Okay. So that's about a ethical will. So what's an ethical will? See if somebody can give me the definition of what an ethical will is. Yeah, ethical will. Looks like either people aren't sure or they're not, or they're still typing. It's basically the will you leave your loved ones, talking about all the things that are important to you in life, your morals, the character you think is important for people to have, how you think how you conducted your life, and how you think people your heirs should conduct their lives. It's a way of passing on what's important, what was important to you in your life. That's what it's and it's a big movement now out there. And this gives you gives the client the ability to walk through how to do that. And do you think clients love doing this more or a regular will more? Which one do you think they like doing more? This or a regular will? Talking about their money. This, I'll tell you straight out that my dad loved writing his, there's a big trend now, people writing their memoirs because they think everybody wants to read their memoirs. Why are they writing their memoirs, guys? Why are people writing their memoirs? Nobody really gives feel important. It's an ego thing, exactly. They want to pass on. They want something to continue once they die. They want to be remembered, right, Andre? So this is just an outline for how they can do that. So it explains your legacy letter. What's your legacy? Is it the money you pass along from your IRA, or is it the home or material goods you inherit? Those things are not you. You are the accumulation of your experiences, both good and bad, and those experiences that created you, the person, and made you the person you are. Your values, your wisdom, your humor and passion. These are the things that can live on long after you're gone. It's these things that your children and grandchildren will remember, not the money they inherited. So it walks through how they do it. 7 simple steps to creating a legacy letter. No need to hurry. Don't rely on the Social Security office to help you get your biggest benefit. This will be this. This will is the accumulation of your life so far. You aren't done yet. So it's not. And we need a Missy. Can we fix that typo, please? So it's not something you need to finish right now. Jot down some notes and ideas and set it aside to stew. Then jot down some more ideas. So you're saying it's not an emergency. Just start putting this thing together. And let's walk you through. Is there a list of things, some of the things that you could start thinking about? Here's the list. My favorite places I've visited. My favorite artists, the books, movies, foods, sports, hobbies, phrases. My family. Most important thing I learned from my parents, my grandparents, my husband, my wife, traditions growing up. Favorite story about my mother. Favorite story about my father. Funniest thing that ever happened to me growing up. Saddest thing. The moment I had growing up. Guys, do you think many people like doing these things? When you hand something like this to them, what do you think? They think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah, they think it's a good thing. My professional life, best job I ever had, worst job I ever had, why I became a blank. If I ever do again, I would become this thing. My experiences, best memories, status, my spirituality, the one belief I live by, thoughts on religion. I believe that God is blah, blah, blah. Priorities that have always important to me. Success means what to me? Wishes for my children, wishes for my grandchildren, wishes for my wife or husband. A mistake I made in life I hope you can avoid. One thing I did in life. See, guys, this makes you look, again, as a financial advisor, is this necessarily part of our job? No, you're right. But what does it show people? That we care. That we care. And people want to work with somebody who what? Only cares about your money or cares about you as a person? As a person. So it goes through another, here's how you write it. You have your introduction, you have your history, your work life, your life's lessons. It just walks you through the whole thing and then closure. So this is just one of the tools that they'll get just for coming to see you for the eye to eye. But again, look at these tools. These are tools you could use in any number of places. Any number of places. Yeah, I like what Mike said. This is better than a dash between dates on a gravestone. People want to be remembered, and they love rehashing their memories. And because I don't know if I asked my wife, that she's a doctor of psychology, so I asked her, why do old people repeat the same stories over and over and over? So do you guys know why they do that? You must know that some old people, and it's like every time you get together with them, guess what story you get? Is it new things happening, or it's not memory loss? It has nothing to do with memory loss. Getting some answers. See, when you get older, are they out there traveling to Europe? Are they out there hang gliding? Are they doing anything new as they get older? They're not. So when you're not doing anything new, guess what happens? You collapse back on what? All the things you've already done. And you love talking about them and talking about the stories and rehashing them. It's your favorite things in your life. And you're giving them a tool here, an outlet here, to put that down so they know somebody will, they don't know who, but somebody will look at this, and somebody will be interested, and somebody will remember them. Make sense? So all the tools we have here, I'm going to back out here, back to the PowerPoint. All the tools we have here, we have one on Medicare. So all of these tools I gathered from all of my research on boomers, which is who we're working with now, those people between 60 and 75, are things that they're concerned with. Medicare, keeping their minds young, keeping fit, Social Security, being a grandparent, passing out what really matters, this ethical will, how to squeeze every drop out of life, which is a fabulous way to get a clear picture of where they are now and where they want to go. And then obviously the third-party review of their investments is Morningstar. But these are things that all show them what about you. I mean, some of them, some of them are about, if I can get my act together here. So some of them are about money to some degree, but are any of them about investments? Do you see anything in here about investments? So this is just another way to show that you care and to show that you're different. Make sense? So even if you're not doing the eye-to-eye, these are tools that you should be able to utilize, okay? But the biggest picture is, how many more times am I going to say, even if you're not doing an eye-to-eye? Many or not too many? No. Because if you're not doing an eye-to-eye, guess what? We're going to have a discussion about your future in this industry and whether you should just, guys, I was talking to Jerry about this, and Jerry told me that waste management specialists, garbage men, make 60 grand a year. They have 401ks, they have health insurance, they have holidays off, they get paid vacation. That's 60 grand a year. So if you can't afford 48, and pensions too, right, Bruce? And pensions, good pensions. So if you can't, if you are making less than a garbage man, then should you be in this industry? I don't think you should, because that would be a much better job than making 48 grand a year and not having any of those benefits. But here's the problem. You have the guys that are making not enough money to do an eye-to-eye now. You do have a benefit that garbage men don't have, and what is that? So the guys that aren't making enough to do an eye-to-eye, you can't put enough money together to do an eye-to-eye. You don't have all those other benefits. You don't have a pension, health insurance, all that stuff that garbage men do. But you do have another benefit. Well, I don't think. So I'm getting some answers that are kind of perturbing me. And that is, Terry says freedom. Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it. Before I go on a tirade, Jeff, what would I call freedom?
Freedom is the ability to do what you want when you want.
Now, what would I call freedom in this
money.
industry?
Money.
I would call it laziness.
Well, true. I mean, if you're not making money, it's just using it as an excuse to do things other than make money.
Oh, my wife has a good
really
job, so I have to take care of the kids. Oh, I have money coming in from something else. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's perfectly valid. Then that's what you should do.
Yeah.
Take care of the kids. Don't do this. Take care of the kids. Or find something that you are passionate about and that you can throw your time and energy into. If it's not this, then it's something else. But that's
and that's cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's cool. But I want to work with passionate people. So please, guys, show me your passion, and how you show passion is get in front of people so we can use the 21. Because the 21 helps people. You've heard me say this about money managers. Do I think any money manager is great? No. Every money manager is the same. When the market goes up, it's going to go up. When the market goes down, it's going to go down. Most times it's going to go more up more often than that. So if all we're doing is offering, and you've heard me say my belief is, and where my money is in the S&P 500. And that's where Warren Buffett's money would be. There's a lot of smart people that would only put their money in the S&P 500. So with those thoughts, the only thing that keeps me going in this industry is knowing that we're actually helping people, and how we help people is not with their investments, because ain't nobody smart enough to be helping anybody with their investments unless you got a minimum client size of $50 million. So instead, what we can help them with is what the 21 does. And the way you help them with the 21 is you get in front of people to help them with the 21, okay? Now we've got ways to do it. If you got clients and no money, do the 21 light. If you don't have clients and you need to do people, you need to be doing the eye-to-eye or figuring out a way to rake up that money. Make sense? Good. So don't forget these tools that we talked about here, and they can be used for all sorts of things, but they're working extremely well for the eye-to-eye to get you in front of great people. So when we get off the phone here, I'm leaving you 15 minutes early. Leave that off, don't turn off your phone, shut your door, and have a come to Jesus with yourself over the next 15 minutes to decide what is it that you're going to do in your business. How busy do you want to be? How much money do you want to make? And you know what? Want is a bad word. I'll take that back. How much money are you going to make? Because we've shown you how to do it. Now it's just your decision on whether to do it or not. And want has nothing to do with it. Because we all want. I want to be a billionaire. Want does nothing. What am I going to do? What's the work I'm going to do that? Okay? Make sense? Great. So you guys have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you all on Friday. Thanks, everybody.